Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. Welcome to another 2023 Project Orchids video. This is Orchid number 5. In the voting, it came in second. I'm choosing it today because it's a relatively easy one, and I'm going to do something on film that I've never done before, and this orchid's going to get it, basically. Right, first of all, looking over this Cattleya. It's an unusual Cattleya in as much as none of those pseudo bulbs have been trained to grow upwards. They do it naturally. I've never wired or staked or done anything with this. And another unusual thing about this Cattleya is the length of the rhizome between the pseudo bulbs is almost non-existent. So it stays compact. This is in my smallest holy clay pot, and we do have quite a lot of bulbs, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and a stumpy one. So it's a very compact Cattleya. I'll put the picture of the blooms up now and the name. The name will take up the whole screen. Look at the size of the label I've had to do, but I have actually got a proper label for it. But as I say, I'll put it on the screen with a picture of the blooms. And the picture of the blooms is quite relevant because this sheath here is packed with buds. So providing they don't blast or rot, the sheath has already split, so there is air getting to them. So the chances are they will progress. So as far as this plant is concerned, the progress for the rest of the year really is to get it to bloom. So in other words, progress this flower spike. And I'm filming it now because I feel that in 2 months' time, this spike will have had time to develop and open. Now obviously if the blooms open and look like they're going to go over before it's going to get filmed next time, I'll put a little clip together in between that I can add on so that we don't miss the blooms. In round here we have another new growth pushing on. I don't know whether that one's going to develop any more than that actually. You know, this has been subject to the cooler temperatures, the same as everything else in here. But this Cattleya now is one of 5 left in the holy clay pots. That's it. That's all that's left. We've had rotting. You know, we've had the session with the root loss some time ago. I'm not going into that again. Some never recovered from that. So my number of Cattleyas has gone right down. We do have some mounted Cattleya types as well. But as far as my actual Cattleyas are concerned, I've got 2 Laelias, my apple blossom, and 2 Cattleyas, of which this is one. So, and I probably won't get any more unless I see a really healthy plant with a hell of a good root system that's already in a decent media and doesn't need an immediate repot, because that might actually be okay to keep. So anyway, as far as this one's concerned, so what are we going to do with it that we've never filmed before? There's a clue there. Now on this plant are some scale. I suspect they're dead, but how can you tell? How you can tell is to get rid of the bodies, which is what we're going to do now. And then when they're all gone, if next time you look they've come back, then they weren't all dead, were they? But there's no real way of telling. If you've got an adult scale on a plant, if you just put your nail against it and gently push and it just comes straight off without any effort, it's dead. But that doesn't mean to say it hasn't done its job, because the adult scale, the limpet-like thing, is where the eggs are laid. That's a female basically, and underneath are where the eggs are laid, and when they hatch out you've got the little white crawlers that move around and can change plants, yeah, and get down in the media, get down in leaf joints. They're the little peasants basically. Once the female has set effectively and created that limpet, it doesn't do any more damage, and it often doesn't even leave much of a mark where that has been. It's the little crawlers that do the worst of the damage. So the idea is we will get rid of everything we can see today, and then next time we'll have a look and see if there's anything come back. So I will have to put the camera on the tripod, and what I'm going to do is I've got a pair of scissors that have got a very sharp point. I'll show you what that bit's for. We're not cutting anything today. And then I've got some cotton wool buds and some rubbing alcohol. And that's what we're going to use. You can use an old very soft toothbrush, but go steady with the toothbrush thing, because sometimes you're actually scratching the surface of the plant and you can't see the damage you're doing, and then it shows up later. So, you know, that can be deemed a little rough, especially on leaves. Anyway, I'll shut the camera off and get it set up on the tripod nice and close in so that we can see what we're doing, and we'll have a go at cleaning this Cattleya up. The other thing I was going to say is this got potted in small and medium bark about 2 years ago. So strictly speaking, it ought to have a repot and refresh the media. But the fact that the media never stays wet for any length of time, one, because of the amount of air that gets in round it, and two, because I don't keep my Cattleyas soaking wet. They get soaked and then allowed to completely dry. That's how I work them. And unfortunately, with the low temperatures that we had earlier on in the winter, that allowing them to completely dry was taking too long. Yeah, so anyway, shut down and get the camera in nice and close. Just suddenly dawned on me, that's no good. I can't get that in close to the plant, it's too tall. So I've had to go and get my little tabletop one out. Now, I don't use that anymore. That used to be what I used when we did kitchen time, which I don't do anymore. I do my repotting out here. So anyway, I had to think where the hell it was. It's in the bottom drawer, buried. Anyway, so we'll use the low down one so that I can get in nice and close. Okay, looking at this on the screen, it looks rather dark, so I will brighten it up with the technology when I edit the video. Ready? Woof! It's just like magic, isn't it? Right, so rubbing alcohol will evaporate quite quickly. So you need to be methodical if you're going to work over a plant. So first of all, we look at this bulb, and there is virtually nothing on this bulb. These are just marks, so that bulb's clean. We'll go round systematically. That's a big word for little coffee. Again, underneath the leaves, the little possible there, one there. And then we get to this type of thing where you've got a sheath that is clear. It's like a wafer thin membrane. They will get under there. They manage to find a gap. There are a few round the base of this one, and that one, so that's that done. Then the one next to it, now this one has got a few down the base, again round the base of the rhizome. So we will see if we can get all those off. I don't know how much of this you're actually going to be able to see, because I suspect my hand's in the way. And the next one round, again, a few round the base. These are coming off too easy to be alive. I think they're dead already, which is good. In theory, that means the hot box is doing its job, because nothing's been sprayed in here for some considerable time. With these temperatures, I'm frightened to death of getting anything wet. Right, on the leaf, one there, one there. Anything under the leaf? One. Oh, these are just falling off. I believe they're dead. Right, where did we get to? This one's next. This one's still got a sheath on, so we will get rid of that straight away. Although I don't see any signs of actual scale. This thin skin-like membrane that you get underneath the sheaths, not sheaths, the sheaths on the pseudo bulbs. If you get one of these and some rubbing alcohol, you can take it off. It sort of dissolves it and allows you to rub it. You have to rub quite hard, but you can get it off. then you've got a nice clean pseudo bulb underneath with nowhere for the little blighters to hide. Now this one I've already done and I missed some, I've just seen them, they're round the back and they are underneath that clear membrane, so we'll see if we can get as much of that off as possible. Back to that one, see if we can get this off. So you wouldn't need to use rubbing alcohol to get this membrane off, you could just probably use water. See, this bit doesn't want to come off, so it's not ready yet, so try again another time. Right, where did we get to? There, this one. Membrane again. May want to come off, and it may not, but there's nothing hiding underneath this one. The beauty of it is you can see through it. There's a little bit of scale around the base. Right, there's one in the middle, a very old pseudo bulb. Does have a few on, not much. And then there's another old leafless pseudo bulb here. That's got a few around the base. Need to get right in there because there's roots over the base. They could be in under the roots. Right, now where are we? This one next. I can see some definitely hiding there. A few again around the base. That membrane's coming off on that one, so it was ready. So it doesn't always, sometimes it really does stick, and if you try hooking it off with your nail you will probably dig your nail in and damage the pseudo bulb, so go steady with that idea. Same with if you use some sort of sharp instrument, you're more likely to damage the bulb. And this latest one that's going to bloom soon. I think that's about it. So why did I get the scissors out then? I will show you. I'll just lift the camera up. I've got the scissors out for another place they hide that is difficult. That process wouldn't deal with them. See if I can find one that is guilty. It's usually where an old flower spike has been, and they get down in there and they form a colony, and it's got a wax coat on it. So sprays will not touch them. They're hiding underneath a film that the spray won't dissolve. But what you can do is get something very, very sharp and carefully hook the membrane off, hook the top. Now I'm doing it there, but there aren't any. I'm not sure I've actually got it. Yeah, I think we might have a little bit on this one, perhaps. But you'll just see it as a sort of dirty patch. And then when you dig into it and hook them out, they're in underneath the film on the top. And whether these are alive or not, I don't really know. I don't think they are. You're better doing it with something, not a pair of scissors, because these keep closing on me. And they're sharp, I don't want to get my fingers in. But anyway, when you've broken the film and hooked as many as you can out, then you can put the alcohol down in the groove and it will work because there's no film to stop. Now, a word of warning with rubbing alcohol on plants. Now, Cattleyas are probably relatively safe because their leaves are very thick and fleshy. But if you put a load of alcohol on an oncidium leaf, you could dehydrate it. This has an evaporative nature, which is how it basically kills. It soaks into the little bugs, yeah, so that it gets sort of into them almost, and then evaporates really rapidly and totally dehydrates them. That's how it sort of works. It isn't really a bug killer, but it has a methodology. I mean, that's how it works if you rub it on your hands. It's not the alcohol itself that's doing the work, it's the evaporation that does it. That rapid evaporation just takes the moisture right out of everything. So anyway, we have buds to come. You can see them through there. Actually, let me, as we've got the camera down here, I'll see how close I can get in. So you can get a good look at what, I can't get down low enough, I don't think. See, I can go close with this camera, but everything has to be very still. I think that's in focus. Possibly. But anyway, you can see the shadow in there. You can see the stem starting and the cluster of buds across the top. That will extend, come out of the top, and then we will have, hopefully in the not too distant future, some very nice blooms. So there we go. That's orchid number 5. The only Cattleya representative, and something a little unusual filmed on the end. There we go. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And a week today we will have orchid number 6. This is number 5 of 8, so we have 3 to go. They're always on Friday for the first session anyway. The day may change after the first 8 have been filmed. It depends where the Fridays fall. It might have to be a different day to get them in. But there we go. That's that one done. See you next time. Bye for now.